One lesson that has become very, very important to us is reclaimed materials. See, pretty much everything in this shot here is reclaimed. The wishing well that you see here is old decking wood. All these rocks are reclaimed from an old water feature. Our clothesline is made out of old fence posts. Uh, the chook house that you can see in the back is made from an old playhouse that we bought in order to do up for our new flock of chickens. I've got a retaining wall here. This is made from rafters of a house, and it was really dirty before we started working with it. All it took was a good quick sand and a stain, and now it's something beautiful. This is old bed ends that Amber got from, I think, a tip shop, and she painted it up and added a bit of gold embellish. It didn't take very much to do something with it. We've got our stairs over here. These are made from a couple of different decks that we've collected. All we had to do is put a post up on Facebook and ask people if they had any materials that they were taking to the tip. This archway here came from a section of a house that was being pulled down. It was the roof supports. One resource that's abundant everywhere is pallets. We've collected many pallets over the last year, and we have been building our terraces. We've been very lucky where our soil is very stable and doesn't require too much retaining. This is basically just to keep it neat rather than to actually retain it. We are well aware that the pallets are going to rot. I suspect we'll probably get 2 or 3 years before they actually deteriorate to a point where they won't be supportive anymore. But we're hoping by then that the plants that we put in will be able to retain the bank on their own accord. Things are starting to die off now that we're getting closer to winter, but we had a whole bunch of herbs and flowers in these pallets. So this was basil. We've got some chives going. This is pyrethrum, some thyme, calendula, and there's some parsley further down. We put our strawberries up on top of the pallets so that they'd be a lot easier to pick. Here we have some gypsophila. It has a very strong root system, and we're hoping that it will help support the bank. Here's a kiwi fruit bin that we got from a pack house, and they were just going to throw it out because it had gotten too old and wasn't much use for shifting anything with much weight. We cut them in half and we use them to store our seedlings. We got greenhouse plastic and made covers for our cold frame lids. And here we have chili peppers that I wanted to overwinter for next season. The idea is that the cold frame lid will keep the frost off of them and hopefully help them survive until they're ready to be planted again and give us an early start for the next year. Here are some old windows that we got in order to build a greenhouse with. Here are some old ice cream bins that we got from a restaurant. We find them very useful for putting our veggies in when we take them to market. This is one of the trays that we use to display our veggies at when we go to market. This is built out of kiwi fruit picking bins. I had to take it all apart and rebuild it and sand it, and Amber gave it a good whitewash. Once it was finished, it was unrecognizable. When you know how to reclaim things, you can find that they have multiple purposes. This was one of our cold frame lids that I recycled and made into a cover to protect this little lemonade seedling that I got for cheap because it wasn't looking so good. Even natural materials can be used if you have the insight to see the value in them. Here is some old broom from down the road that Amber has picked and weaved into a fence. We were looking after a dog, and the dog liked to cut the corner on this garden, and so we needed something to keep her from getting in here and trampling our freshly planted seedlings. And Amber had the good idea to take this broom and weave it into a dog stopper fence. When you're working on a tight budget, it pays to be frugal. It pays to be resourceful. It doesn't take much to make something beautiful if you can see the potential in things. That is one lesson that I'm truly grateful to my partner Amber for teaching me. When I started out, I used to have to buy everything new in order to build with, and it just wasn't as rewarding when I built the things that I was working on. So like everything that you see here has a story to it. There's so much more to it because it came from somewhere. There's so much more value to it because it saved something from the landfill. Thanks for watching, and I hope this helps inspire you to build something from reclaimed materials.